especially now with what we see, what's happening around the globe. Fortunately, Canada is very well positioned to play a leading role in this critical industry. We already have a long history as a global agricultural powerhouse, and the prairie provinces are established and respected growers and processors of plant-based proteins. Some observers even anticipate that Canada's prairies will become the world's protein basket. To secure our foothold in this growing global market, the government has invested $153 million to create the Protein Industries Canada, one of Canada's 5 global innovation clusters. Investing in plant protein innovations means new choices for Canadian consumers. It also creates good local jobs in agricultural communities across the country and improves the overall health of our environment. Since it was announced in 2018, Protein Industries Canada and industry partners have invested more than $375 million into growing Canada's plant-based food, feed, and ingredient sector. Building on this track record of success, it's my honor today to announce the latest Protein Industry Canada project that will create a new line of plant-based foods for consumers and the industry. The project sees Prairie Fava, the leading Canadian grower and ingredient supplier of fava beans. Is it fava beans? I was adding some flavor to the flavor. Okay, sorry. So fava beans join forces with Big Mountain Foods, an award-winning innovator of plant-based consumer packaged goods. Both of these women-led companies, I was fortunate enough to meet the mother-daughter women-led industry here, are rising stars in this growing and increasingly competitive market. So this partnership is sure to push the envelope of plant-based consumer packaged goods. Currently, most plant-based foods are made using soy, wheat, and yellow or green peas. However, as the market grows, there is increased consumer demand for more choices and variety in plant-based food products. Many folks see fava beans as the next big thing in plant protein, so that's why today's project is so exciting. It will incorporate Prairie Fava's beans into Big Mountain Foods line offerings to create a non-allergen tofu and other fava-based food products. It's a fine example of what our Minister Champagne, who I'm substituting in for today, likes to call innovation through collaboration. My congratulations to all project partners, and of course to Protein Industries Canada for helping to make this all happen. It is through innovative partnerships such as this one that we will together achieve the goal established by Protein Industries Canada of supplying the ingredients for 10% of the world's plant-based foods by 2035. I wish you all the best of luck. This is a great partnership and a great announcement, and everyone here, you should be very proud of all of the work that you've contributed to. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Baines. And as a lifelong, I won't even say how long, food industry professional, I appreciate the investment in the food industry. It's a great industry, and it's a great industry to work in. I would now like to introduce or bring up to the podium the CEO of Protein Industries Canada, Bill Grohl.
Great, thanks, Mavis. And don't stop the noise. It's awesome because we're in a functioning food facility. No, don't. It means that there's things happening here, and that's awesome. It is so great to be here today. You know, James Donaldson, I think one of the first places I came was out to BC because we knew there was so much happening here. And then the pandemic hit and we couldn't come back. And so it's incredible to be here to meet Jasmine for the first time, to meet Prairie Fava for the first time in person. It is just so wonderful. You know, earlier this week, I was reminded that 3 years ago, we kicked the doors open on Protein Industries Canada, and we weren't quite sure what we were going to do. I had a lot of trouble defining exactly what is a super cluster when people ask me that question. But I think today is the embodiment of that, right? Bringing people together to grow a sector in Canada to meet some of the biggest challenges we have on a global stage, which is, feeding the world, providing good, healthy, nutritious, environmentally sustainable food products, and growing Canada's plant-based food, feed, and ingredient sector. So, when we kicked the doors open 3 years ago, we made about $40 million available to those first tranche of projects. And I'm very happy today to say that we're managing an investment portfolio of almost $485 million of projects focused on growing Canada's plant-based food, feed, and ingredient sector. And I've often said to Canada's agri-food sector, you're not handed opportunities like this very often, and we have to take advantage of it. And I'm so proud to be here helping announce projects together with Big Mountain Foods and Prairie Fava to grow Canada's plant-based food, feed, and ingredient sector. So this partnership is going to result, as we will hear more about healthy options for food for Canadians produced here, utilizing and upcycling of ingredients and products that we're producing here in Canada. And this is not the first time that Protein Industries Canada has been working with these two exceptional organizations. They've both been involved in projects before, and it's the joining together of their collective forces that's going to make this project so successful today. I would really like to congratulate both Big Mountain Foods on the opening of the new tofu line that I think we're hearing in the back, which is awesome. And just like to thank everyone for coming out and helping support us. I should be a little bit careful. We've done a couple of announcements in downtown Toronto, and we don't get this kind of people out here. So it's great to have some West Coast hospitality and come out here and see all of you and celebrate the growth of Canada's plant-based food, feed, and ingredient sector. So I'll keep my comments there, Mavis, and I will turn it back to you. No, I don't even have to use a hook.
So you can take all
Yeah.
the time you want.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Boy, you're tall. I know what it's like to be given sort of a blank slate and a bunch of money, maybe not as much as you were given, but that it's a bit daunting to create that organization. And it's always a pleasure to work with your team. Protein Industries Canada has been, growing and a great part of business for the college as well. So thank you for all your work. It is now my honor to introduce the first of two project members, Haley Jeffries, co-founder and CEO of Prairie Fava. But before I invite Haley up here, I was saying to Haley, we've kind of grown up together. I started Prairie Research Kitchen in about 2016, and Haley and I met for the first time. She, had this bag of fava beans. I had never seen a fava bean, but our answer was always, okay, what can we do? So we sat in a coffee shop. Haley had 100 ideas of what we could do. And it's amazing to see what you've grown over those past 6 years. So it's been a pleasure to always be a part of your energy and ideas. Some of my favorites are still those early fava muffins and granola that we sent you on the road with to go pitch your first pitches. So I really proud of what you've done, and always fun to work with you and Kale. So please join me up at the front.
Wow, well, thank you. Thank you so much, Protein Industry Canada. I am so appreciative and humbled by your continued support and belief in Prairie Fava. This funding shows that. And what an honor to work with Big Mountain Foods. They're an absolute incredible company. As Fava is relatively new for consumers and for the food industry, we are so excited to partner with Big Mountain Foods to commercialize new products, new innovative products, especially seeing this first soy-free fava tofu, and it tastes phenomenal. Big Mountain Foods, you're very successful. You're a trusted brand with high-level consumer loyalty, which is shown by your numerous awards and that you have received. Through the introduction of further Big Mountain Foods products into the marketplace, the taste, the health profile, the versatility and sustainability features, Fava will definitely shine. Prairie Fava was established in 2014 as a manufacturer focused only on fava as a whole food ingredient. We supply whole fava beans, dehulled fava beans, and fava flour. So why did we decide to focus on fava? I always had a passion for health, and it was fueled in part by my mother's cancer diagnosis. While seeking out alternative proteins for her, I realized fava was underdeveloped and underutilized in consumer segments. I also learned that fava beans meet this need for numerous food and health consumer trends, including being free of allergens, non-GMO, gluten-free, very high protein, and high in fiber, and its naturally light in flavor profile. My first marketing disruption was calling my company Prairie Fava with a V. Fava is used by the food industry as fava, but many farmers were very confused, including my father-in-law. Well, they call it faba with a B. We established Prairie Fava in 2014 and purchased our first pieces of equipment in 2015. We all know the world needs more and wants more high-quality plant-based protein sources. Canadian farmers are known for their production of high-quality, nutritious protein crops. At Prairie Fava, we are directly linked with my husband's fifth-generation farm and family seed business. This gives us control over our fava supply and traceability, which makes it even more attractive for food companies seeking fava, which is also one of the most sustainable crops available to growers, as it's one of the highest nitrogen-fixing crops. The integration has been part of our pathway to success in this exciting partnership with Big Mountain Foods. Like all crops, different fava varieties can have different characteristics depending upon their genetics and growing conditions. These characteristics can impact food formulation. We want to learn more about our varieties so we can provide data on nutritional, functional, and sensory properties to Big Mountain Foods and their products. Through this PIC-supported research, we learn more about fava bean flour and splits with these different varieties. PIC funding has also will also be instrumental to moving our processing and food research forward much more rapidly. As a young company, the ability to gain competitive advantage in the plant-based market is so important, and Protein Industry Network and expertise to assist Prairie Fava with all aspects of our product development, from basic research through commercialization. We have made progress since inception, so there are so many organizations and people that have made our success possible. And to name a few, Mavis McRae of Prairie Research Kitchen, who has assisted us since I brought my first bag of fava beans to Red River College in Winnipeg. Lisa Campbell of Protein Industry Canada, who is managing both of our PIC projects. Lisa introduced us to Big Mountain Foods, and they say the rest is plant-based history. I want to express my gratitude to my partner in life and business, Kale, who's my leadership in his family's fifth-generation seed business, who brought us back to Glenboro, Manitoba, where I was able to leverage this passion for health and marketing by founding Prairie Fava. And to the next generation of fabulous employees, our son Owen, who will be training soon on all aspects of Fava. With the support of all our partners and now this great opportunity to work with Big Mountain Foods, I have no doubt that Fava will be the game changer in the world of plant-based protein. Once again, thank you to PIC. Your support and belief in Prairie Fava is important to our growth and success. Thank you all.
Thank you, Haley. It's now my pleasure to welcome our final speaker to the podium, another very inspiring woman who we've had the opportunity to work with for the past couple of years. And unfortunately, as you grow a company, you get less time to spend actual fun time with the clients and with the projects. So, but my team, I know, enjoyed working with you. So the president of Big Mountain Foods, Jasmine Byrne. But again, before I turn over the mic, I was talking to Kyle Andreessen, who is our research chef and our longest running employee at the center. And Heather Hill, who is our research manager, who is at home in Winnipeg with a new member of her family, which I know she would have loved to have been here today. But I know that both have really enjoyed working with the company. They love the energy. They love the commitment to quality. anytime I ask to get an update on projects, Kyle lights up with the latest stories of ideas and where this could go. So I know it's been a real pleasure to work and to invest in a company like this to this size. It takes a lot of courage and stamina. So it's a very admirable process. Please join me, Jasmine.
Okay, so it's been a while since I've spoken to people in person and not on Zoom. A little bit nervous. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jasmine Byrne, president of Big Mountain Foods. I would first like to say a sincere thank you to everyone in this room for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today for this exciting announcement. As I look out at all of you, both new and old faces, I can confidently say that each and every one of you has made a strong impact to both Kimberly and I, leading us to where we are today, which is standing in this new 70,000 square foot facility that is now operational. Everyone in this room is so dedicated and striving for the same purpose to grow Canada's plant-based sector to 25 billion by 2035. I would like to say a special thank you to Kyle Anderson at Prairie Kitchen for joining us on this wild ride to build the first allergen-free tofu factory in the world, allowing Canada to compete in the $2.4 billion global tofu industry. We would also like to acknowledge UBC and our new partnership that will foster our innovation around upcycling the 7 tons of byproduct that will be generated out of this facility daily. Both relationships would not have been possible without the support of Protein Industries Canada. Big Mountain has big goals to turn this facility into a zero waste factory. We will continue to strive towards this with the help of our industry partners. If Big Mountain can leave one impact, it is for not only us to create jobs, but to support other women in this sector. Protein Industries Canada is fostering our dreams by solidifying our partnership with women-led company Prairie Fava, which is helping bridge the gap of diversity, equity, and inclusion that is so important to Big Mountain Foods. Together, we will use an ancient bean, ancient methods to create modern recipes. We hope you join us on the first look of our soy-free tofu production line later today and taste some of our exciting new innovations using fava tofu and upcycling. With that being said, I'd like to invite Kimberly and Mr. Baines up to officially do a ribbon cutting signifying our new facility being open to produce plant-based proteins.
Good. That's okay. It's a big day, and it's right to be emotional. This is a big investment. Better you than me. So that ends the formal part of our program. And on behalf of all the speakers, I thank you for joining us. I also want to thank you for letting me be a part of this because it is a career highlight to see 2 ambitious, smart women, 3. I don't want to forget Kimberly, but the 2, yeah, there's lots. And you know what, it's a fantastic tribute to your just stick to itness to be in a food business. The food business can be hard. So it's great for us to be a part of this. I know that our team, Kyle, Heather, played a big part in creating this tofu, and I couldn't be more proud of the Prairie Research Kitchen team. We haven't been around a long time, so it's nice to see this kind of impact. So good luck to you. You're both amazing leaders and I wish you the best. I also want to, sorry, and I also want to thank Protein Industries Canada to your commitment to the growth and momentum of Canada's plant-based ecosystem. And since inception, you've really helped move applied research and move the industry faster and stronger with your support. So this is a prime example. So thank you very much, everyone. Speakers are now available to media. Not sure where, because, oh, okay. So thank you, everyone. She's coming to us. So I'll invite the speakers up here.
Yes,
All right.
but for this first one, they're wondering, Neil Bellinger is wondering where the new processing facility is located, how big it is, and when it opened. So I'm Jasmine, I'm thinking that one, if you want to answer.
So Big Mountain Foods' new facility is on Annacis Island in British Columbia. And we are a 70,000 square foot manufacturing facility, opened officially. Well, the tofu line officially launched this week, but we were running our regular plant-based products out of here since March of 2021.
Do you want me to send the speakers over to another and then people can mingle, or how do you want to roll with this? From the media here. So are there any other questions that we want to before we get to snack? All about the snacks. I don't think so. It's snack time.